DeSOx in a Bobcat machine is basically the same as regen in diesel vehicles. So during DeSOx, Bobcat heats up the exhaust system, which has the SCR unit in it, and burns all the soot that is accumulated in this SCR, which is basically the same as the DPF in vehicles. The DeSOx procedure happens automatically in Bobcat machines, and in the interval of this may be different depending on the conditions under which the machine is used. Usually it's about once every 200 hours, but the interval may get shorter or on machines with a lot of hours on them. Anyway, if you see the message that DeSOx is in progress, you should just let your Bobcat do the job. It's not an error message and it doesn't require any actions on your side. Just don't turn the machine off. Now, if you get an error code telling you about the DeSOx problems, there are several culprits that you may want to check, and they are not always possible to check without professional equipment, since this after-treatment equipment is something that was added to Bobcat machines because of the environment protection rules, and it just doesn't work properly in a lot of 770 and the 870 machines. Anyway, here are the culprits that very often lead to DeSOx codes and warnings. The DeSOx procedure was attempted but failed due to unknown reasons. In this case, you may try forced DeSOx, but it may only be launched with a computer equipped with proper software, so in dealership or with the help of a specialized Bobcat mechanic. Then there is the sensor in the DEF tank that measures DEF quality. It should be strictly 32.5% urea to 67.5% of water. Otherwise, you will get emission system errors and codes, so watch the quality of the DEF fluid that you use in your machine. The third quite common and tricky problem is the DEF pump filter. The pump is not located inside the DEF tank as many owners think. It's the black plastic box bolted to the body of the Bobcat on the right of the DEF tank, and inside that pump there is a small filter that protects the pump in case there are hard particles in the DEF. The interval for that filter is 3000 hours, but if it gets clogged, you will get all kinds of warnings connected with the after-treatment system. The pump is a tricky thing to get to, and it's not a DIY job in most cases, but the problem is that even dealership mechanics don't always remember about that filter, so it stays there for too long and gets clogged. Then also faulty NOx sensor may cause these DeSOx codes on the screen. The sensor measures how well the SCR manages NOx in emissions, and there are pre-NOx and post-NOx sensors which both have their dedicated codes and are easy to spot if you have issues with them just using the diagnostic software. And now one more common problem is the DEF injector wire, which may be broken just because of vibration. I know a lot of cases when the connector was replaced and the DeSOx system started working properly. This issue is very hard to find, so it makes sense to try it if you can't find the culprit of the after-treatment system problems. One more thing is the DEF heater unit. If you happen to have the DeSOx error in winter, check this thing. It's located behind the engine and it may be damaged by the broken drive belt. When the belt breaks, it swings around the engine bay for several seconds and it can damage the wiring of the DEF heater unit. This is a more common problem than you may think, so it's worth checking after any issue with the drive belt. And finally, the 12-volt battery should be checked. If the battery is too low, you will get the DeSOx codes as well as dozens of other codes that will add up to form a tampering code, and the machine will just die or at least go to a limp mode, limiting the RPMs and power. The battery in modern machines has to be checked regularly with a load tester and charged. Also in Bobcat machines, replacing it once every 4 or 5 years is a good idea. Hundreds of Bobcat owners have to spend thousands of dollars on unnecessary repairs to just learn it in the end that the low battery has always been the culprit of the problems. So keep this in mind next time you get a DeSOx error or a bunch of codes that are hard to explain.